Hey there, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So today is our Friday night live experience. Now, normally what I do for this is I choose either a live album, a live concert, or maybe I discuss a live concert that I went to. I don't do that one as much as because I haven't done a lot of those live concerts due to my hearing. But anyways, I had a band I had wanted to do for some time, and I've been looking for a concert to do it on. I don't have any of their live stuff. I do have some of their discs, like their studio albums, and I like this band quite a bit. I did like them a lot when I was younger, especially in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was really into hard rock music a lot. And I wanted to do something for this band, so I've been looking for a concert to try and illustrate how good they were. Not really able to find exactly what I wanted. I found a couple of concerts that were good, but there was too many effects on the concert, and I didn't really like it. I didn't think it portrayed the band correctly. So I did finally find one, which actually was one of the first ones I found, but had moved on. The reason I hadn't accepted that one right away was because it's a little short. It's only about 34 minutes, which is a little bit short for a concert, but it's the best one I could find that illustrates the band at its best. So the band we're talking about is April Wine, Canadian rock band from Nova Scotia, Halifax, who were stationed and had a label in Montreal, so they worked out of Montreal basically. April Wine, when they came up in the late 60s, it was kind of them and the Guess Who. Those were the two big bands in Canada. And then BTO came along, and then once it started getting into the late 70s, Rush and Triumph were kind of the two big bands at that point in time. But April Wine is still a really solid rock band, and I think of them as in that time period I kind of thought of them as borderline heavy metal. Now it's just hard rock. But so this concert was filmed in Cedar Rapids, Iowa in 1982. I think there's six songs on the concert agenda, and the concert was basically cut. So what that means is that they played the entire concert, and then they cut out and just left half a dozen songs for a shorter video, which I wish they'd played the whole thing, but they didn't. So, and if I could find the whole thing, I would probably recommend that, because it was a pretty solid concert. It demonstrates all that April Wine is. Okay, so the members of April Wine, for those of you who are not familiar with the band, at least at this particular time, they started out as being the Heenan brothers, and then Miles Goodwin joined, and then the Heenans left, and he kind of took over the band and all the writing, and most of the musical writing stuff was done by him. And Jim Clench was also in the original, was also in one of the versions of the band, but this particular group is from 1982. To me, is the classic April Wine band. When I think of April Wine, these are the guys I think of. So it's Brian Greenway, Miles Goodwin, and Gary Moffat all on guitars, playing both rhythm and leads. Stephen Lang on bass, and Jerry Mercer on the drums. And this to me is the classic rock band. This is the band that I grew up with as April Wine, and this is the way I remember them, and this is the way I like them, really. So the front guys, Moffat, Greenway, Goodwin, and Stephen Lang, do the vocal parts, with Miles Goodwin being the lead vocalist, and the other three basically doing background. But they have really good harmonizing. This band is really good harmonizing. And the one thing about Goodwin, he doesn't get enough credit. It's a very distinguishing voice. Whenever I hear a song on the radio, even if I don't know it's April Wine, I know it's April Wine because of his voice. Okay, they have a lot of fairly well-known songs, more than you would think. I haven't listened to their deep cuts as much as probably I should. But I was big into April Wine when I was 15 and 16, so a lot of it was radio play. And for some reason, I didn't get much beyond that with them, although I did own their albums at first, but for some reason I just didn't go there. I'm not really sure why. Maybe I'll figure it out someday. Anyway, so this concert is about 35 minutes in length, features 6 tracks, and I broke it into 3 sections. So you got the front section, which is basically a mix of their stuff, and then you have the kind of end of the concert song, and then you have the encore. So they cut into the concert, which is already going, I think, at this point, and it's anything you want, you got it. I don't know if people are familiar with the song. It's not as well known a song by them, but it's a good song. Some heavy guitar riffing and some heavy guitar solo by Goodwin in this, and his voices are distinct. His voice is very distinctive as well. I like the track. The next one is "You're My Girl and Enough Is Enough." Yeah, great tune. Heavy track. A little more poppy than most of their stuff, but most of the stuff I like anyways. And Gary Moffat does the guitar solo on this particular track. So then we get them. Then they jump in and they do a ballad. Now the thing about April Wine is they were a hard rock band, and for some reason hard rock bands like to have ballads in their music, and just about all of them are like this. But April Wine has quite a few ballads. This is one of them, one of the better ones. "Just Between You and Me" is the one they do. And not a ballad guy, really, but I understand that the band was singing for their fans, and a lot of their fans, of course, liked those kind of love ballads. I'm not going to get into the different demographics of the group, of the followers of the group, but they were big for that. They had those ballads. The next song up is, to me, is the beginning of the concert, where they're now getting into their really hard classic stuff, like this song, "Sign of the Gypsy Queen." It starts out with Moffat doing this kind of intro that sets up the song, where he's doing things to the guitar. I'm not a guitar player, so for me to explain exactly what he's doing, it's not going to happen. I mean, I could guess, but then I would just be wrong, and somebody out there would be pissed at me for trying to do that, so I won't try to. They do quite a bit of harmonizing on this song. It requires a lot of, for the chorus part, there's a lot of harmonizing here. It's really good. There's a guitar solo right after the initial part of the song, where they do a one of this, what do you call it? Where they do one of the lyrical parts and then the chorus, and then there's a guitar solo by Brian Greenway, which is quite good. Then they do a little bit more, and then they jump into this kind of dual guitar part. Now, to me, April Wine is one of the first triple attack guitar bands that I remember. Now, there may be others before them, but to me, they were one of the big ones. The big drawing effect for them was that there was 3 guitar players, and they all played lead, and the sound was amazing. So this is one of those instances where you got 2 of them. First, Gary Moffat starts the solo, and then he's joined by either Greenway or by Miles Goodwin. It doesn't really show who the other guitar is, and then you can hear the rhythm guitar going in the background. That's one of the big things about a triple guitar attack. You can always have one guy playing rhythm, which keeps the beat up, right? Then after they do that solo part, there's some more harmonizing, and then right towards the end, they go into a bit of a drum bit, which is played by, of course, Jerry Mercer. He does this kind of ending for the song, which is this really kind of neat drum bit that I liked. And so that to me is one of their better songs, of course, and they played it here, so which is great. Then they do the "I Like to Rock." Now this is the song. This was probably my favorite This is probably my favorite April Wine song. It was the first song I seen them in a video doing. I liked it a lot. To me, it's one of the songs that made me kind of think of them as a heavy metal band. I now think of them as a hard rock band, but at that time period, I would have said they were heavy metal. There's a triple guitar attack, and they do a really good job here. Miles does an intro that leads into the song. Then there's some great harmonies again. Then Miles does a really lengthy and really tasteful and guitar solo that really kind of shows why I think he's underrated as a guitarist. I think he's really quite good. Doesn't get thought of as being one of the great guitar players, but I think he's a very good guitar player. And then they do this triple. Then they do a drum solo. There's a lengthy drum solo here by Jerry Mercer, who's an absolute beast on this. I think I don't think he's a technician like Neil Peart or one of those type of drummers, but he really fits this band, and I think he fits this kind of music very well. He's such a beast, and you could tell. So some drummers, they're just playing as hard as they can. They're really concentrating, but he's just really enjoying himself, and that's the thing I always liked about Jerry Mercer. He always seems to be enjoying himself, and he's such a beast on guitar, on drums. I've said that 3 times now, but he just doesn't diminish what he does, man, not at all. And then after the drum solo, they do their triple guitar attack here, where they're all playing a part. From the album, it's Satisfaction, Day Tripper, and the rhythm section for this particular song. Each one of them is playing a part. I don't think in the live, I don't remember hearing Satisfaction. Now maybe if I listened closer I could hear it, but I don't hear it. I just hear the Day Tripper part. So really, really well done part for that song. And then the next, then they come back, concert's over, they come back and they do their encore, which is Roller. Perfect encore. Really heavy guitar riffing. It's one of the best guitar riffing hard rock songs I think there is. And they do this triple guitar solo feeding off of each other, where they're all standing at the front. One starts it, and then the other one takes over, and then the third one goes in, and then they go back, and they do this for about a minute. And it's really, really cool. I really like it. They do this also in I Like to Rock in the video, where they're feeding off of each other, and they do it so well too. To me, it's a signature part for April Wine. The only sad part is that there's a lot of other April Wine songs I would like to have seen in concert here. Ooh, What a Night, of course. A tremendous song. It's a signature song for them. If you hear it, you know right away that it's April Wine. Can't mistake the song. And there's other songs, of course, but that was one of the ones I wish they could have seen. But for a limited amount of time spent, 35 minutes, you get to see some really good stuff here for a band that doesn't get enough attention, doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. Should be more well known, and I want to give them attention here. I have some of their discography, which I'm going to start playing a little bit more so I can do some look back at some classic rock albums. They definitely deserve to have some stuff looked at that way. So there you have it. April Wine, Canadian rock legends, I think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you do. It's much appreciated, and we'll be back next week with yet another live concert or possibly an album. I've been kind of getting away from albums a bit lately, wanting to give more attention to the band itself, and you can only do that by seeing them live. I would love to go to see some of these bands live, but I know from my experience my head's going to buzz and I'm going to pay a price for it, so I just have to deal with what I can, and I love it, but that's the way it is. Anyways, I hope you have a good evening and enjoy this video, and we'll be back again next week with another one. Bye.